Now, is that better?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Again, welcome everyone. Welcome to the February 2023 meeting of the HARB. We do have a quorum, and so we will begin the meeting. I'd like to start with the board introducing themselves.
Bill Lesniak, Architectural Heritage Association.
Richard Leonori, Scranton Architect.
Conrad Bosley, real estate broker.
Michael Muller, licensed architect.
Okay. We do have minutes from the last meeting. If the board has approved them or read them, I would welcome a motion to accept them.
I will make a motion to accept them as circulated.
We have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Bill. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we have the minutes approved, and with that, we can get into our certificates of appropriateness. We do have a full agenda tonight. The first is for painting of 203-207 North Washington Avenue. Do we have anyone to present that tonight?
Yes, there is representatives, Dustin, Lavigne, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Lavigne. Andrew Stamley. Okay.
And this is the, what will be the Chase Bank building? Is that
Correct,
right?
yep.
I'm just getting into it. Here's your staff report. There we go. That's the one picture. You can present your project of what you're doing.
Right, so that's the current paint scheme that's on there now. I believe it's very dated and doesn't coincide with the new Chase Bank, that's moving in there. So we are proposing to paint the second and third floors, a new modern look that will coincide with their design scheme. And I think a couple months ago, they were approved for a latte color on the first floor.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So looking at this, I just have a few questions. The windows on the third level currently are white. Are you replacing those windows or simply painting them?
So the third floor windows, we're just going to paint them black.
Okay.
The second floor windows, we're replacing with all new windows, and they're going to be black.
And they will be black, and the first floor will be black.
They're going to be black as well, yep.
Okay, and judging from this rendering, is the first level slightly different in color than the upper level, or is it to be one color?
It's a latte brown, so
You see how that looks on the rendering? It looks a little different. It just could be the effect of the light.
yeah. So the band separating the second and third floor, that's their color. That brick color is going to be this. It's showing darker, but it's not going to be that color.
Okay. Okay.
So they were approved all latte.
Okay.
The color shown on the screen is the color approved by the HARB with Chase Bank.
Correct.
Right. However, most of that, as I recall, well, not the signage band, there'll be a bright blue awning across the top there. One of my questions is that their signage is centered on that frieze between the first and second floors, and there is some old electrical work and some, are you going to clean that up? In other words, are we going to have a clean signboard?
So currently there's like a sign pole sticking out of the building. We're going to take that off.
Okay.
And then Chase is going to clean up what Subway left there, and they're going to put their sign. I haven't seen any renderings for that. I think there's still...
Oh, I don't know. We have.
You have them?
We have.
Okay.
We have. The sign will the sign will not take up the entire space. It's simply centered.
Just centered, yeah.
So that area that has that, projecting whatever it is, pipe and stuff.
That's coming off.
Yeah, okay.
They're basically responsible for all the frontage until it hits the second floor. So that latte band in their sign, they're in charge of cleaning all that up. but we are definitely going to take off that protruding
Yeah, that's the...
poles
Good.
off the building, for
Okay.
sure.
Are there any questions from the board?
Can you describe the new windows on the second floor?
So they are basically custom made, and they are going to be matching identical what's there. So we're not changing the size of the windows or anything. We're getting the custom made arch, which is very expensive. They're just taking those out and putting in the new ones.
Are they going to be operable, or is that, the meeting rail is simply a dummy?
They're going to be operable.
They will, so they'll actually be a double hung.
Yep, correct.
Anything else? Any questions? Entertain a
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the application as submitted.
second?
I will second the motion.
Okay, guys, do a good job.
Okay, thank you, appreciate
Thank
it.
Okay. Our second order of business, certificate of appropriateness.
Chairman Leonori,
Yes.
did you make a vote on that?
Could I make a what?
Did you vote on that?
I did not vote on it.
Did the board did?
Do I need to?
No, did everybody vote?
Yes. I'm sorry. If I didn't call the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Sorry, thank you. Okay. Next item of business, certificate of appropriateness for 315, 331 Franklin Avenue, Max Signs. I did receive a call from Kevin on this, but we do have somebody representing Max Signs.
Hi, my name's Brendan Williams. We'd be taking down the existing signage that's there. We would patch it with a caulk, basically weatherproof. We would paint over what was there. You wouldn't even be able to see it. And then we're mounting the 7-foot circular sign on the building in its place.
What is that surface? Is it drive it?
Yes, it's drive it.
Okay, I think that was my biggest question to Kevin, is that the new sign that's going in is smaller than the old sign, and would there be damage or holes or things that would be seen?
Nope, we would patch it up with the caulk, the silicone caulk, weatherproof, and like I said, we would paint over it with a nice color match. You wouldn't be able to tell that there was a sign behind it.
Okay. Do we have any questions from?
Is it an illuminated sign?
Yes.
And how deep is the sign itself?
The depth of the sign, about 5 inches.
What does the edge of it look like? The edge of the,
It would be a jewel cap, a jewel trim around it.
and what color would that be?
A dark blue.
Okay.
It would match the interior blue, the inner room.
Now, is there also a sign going on the
back.
lower, on the back? I assume on both sides. This
Yep.
will be on both sides, right?
Yep.
But what about on the porte cochere over the doors? Is that changing too, or isn't there a sign there now?
On the doors,
If you go back to the view,
I think it's the Penn Fed sign. I don't know if Penn
Isn't
Fed
there-
is still a tenant.
are they still a tenant? On the lower portico there, is there,
I don't know, that is, I'm not sure.
so that's staying, you think?
Yes.
Okay,
I believe they're still in that location
Okay.
as a tenant.
okay. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the application.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Your sign's approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, number 3, certificate of appropriateness, 413, 415 Biden Street, 200 Wyoming. And this is the old Murray Insurance Complex. Brian, how are you?
Good evening. How are you, Richard? Good
Very
to
well,
see you.
thank you. Nice to see you.
Thank you for having us here.
Thank you.
Sure. Yes, this is one part of it. So as you all know, and as you've reviewed, the project consists of actually two buildings, which is interconnected on the second floor for the Friendship House. Friendship House acquired this building. This is going to be their new location in the downtown. The two buildings I'll refer to, one is the former Murray building, Murray Insurance building. The other building is the Davidow building, which sits right here in front of us. This is the one on the corner of Wyoming and Biden Street. Just to introduce the project and give you sort of the summary, upon getting into the design of the project, we started looking at the existing facade conditions. Davidow building is a very handsome building, really nicely designed facade. So our intent for that building was to try to maintain as much of the integrity as we could with that building, while still adding some features for Friendship House, like some signage, as well as a parapet condition to kind of screen a penthouse that is up on the roof, which is we're going to cosmetically treat that, but we're also trying to screen it as best we can as well. That's the part that anchors the corner of Wyoming and Biden. The Murray Insurance building was a little bit different story. So what we did there was, upon investigation of that building, it was revealed that a lot of the granite facade was starting to fail. And even more so, there was not only damage to the granite over the long term that it was installed, but the backup was failing as well. So it was in all of our best opportunity, or in our best situation, to remove that granite and create a new facade, which then in turn created a new opportunity to give a fresh appearance to that, something that's more contemporary and up to date. So these are, again, the existing conditions. If you wanted to continue to scroll, I think you'll get to what is currently proposed.
Okay, here we go. Whoa, go back, Brian. You flew by. Or is that just not,
I think
or you have a
that's
better
just a
image?
cover sheet, yeah.
Okay, you have a better image, so that's okay.
Yeah, there were a number of drawings we had submitted.
Yeah. Well,
We wanted to ensure a thorough application. But as far as the Davidow building, again, in trying to maintain its current integrity of design, we're replacing some of the storefront in a number of areas because some of the glass is not up to code. We are also replacing light fixtures that will enhance the illumination of the building for nighttime. And once you get over to, if you want to keep going one more, I think. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. So to the left-hand side is the Davidow, and then to the right-hand side is the Murray Insurance building. So we're taking an opportunity to really kind of change the Murray Insurance building, but using colors and using some materials to try to tie the two buildings together while still letting Davidow stand on its own.
So you are doing a new storefront at the first floor?
At the Davidow building, there's new storefronts being installed, yeah. So like some of the storefronts right now, there's some inconsistencies to each of them. There will be consistency once we're done. And I think we're using an aluminum frame color, clear anodized? Yes. Yeah, so the base is all clear anodized aluminum, which is more in keeping with what's above it too, and that's second floor.
That is what the second floor is, right?
Yeah.
It's clear
yeah.
anodized.
That is not, that's remaining as it is right now. We're not changing any of that.
And what about the black panels? Are they new, or are you keeping?
So the black panels, there's already a black metal panel there that's in disrepair at this point. That has the awnings projecting off of it. So what we're doing is we're essentially replacing that with an Ichiha panel, I believe, which is a cement board siding. And then we're also replacing the awnings too. We're keeping those. We're looking to do a couple of different things with the awnings, but we kind of want to maintain that appearance. So that will also potentially be signage, but there are no tenants for the building at this point for that first floor. So that could also serve as a signage ban, though, because I think that's what it is currently.
What is the current base on the Davidow building storefront?
It depends on which section of the building you're looking at. So where the jewelers were, it's a tiled base. where like Note was on the corner and where like I think Steamtown Cigar, it's a black granite base if I'm not mistaken, right?
Actually glass over aluminum panel.
And the intention is to replace that with the Nichiha?
Yeah, yes,
Basically, it's broken in a lot of locations.
yeah.
So instead of replacing the glass over top and risking that getting broken again.
At a drive-by, it doesn't look as bad, but when you start looking up close, there's some issues to deal with, so.
Okay.
Is this material capable of being against the sidewalk?
I'm sorry?
Is the Nichiha capable of being against the sidewalk
Yeah,
with regards
we
to
think-
salt
we
and all
believe
that?
so, yeah.
Okay.
It's a cement board siding product. It's hard and durable, so we think it'll hold up, so.
Okay, can we go back to then the Murray Building, and let's see what you're doing at the Murray Building? And what are those materials? What are we looking at?
The Murray Building is it's all Nichiha panel, just different.
All Nichi.
Different color, different pattern and configuration. So the design of that, you kind of see it's kind of this asymmetrical condition. That's to address the corner and how it sits on that court side with the bank next to it. So it's also to play on the scale as well. I mean, we're keeping all of the existing window locations and just, reinstalling new windows. A lot of the windows have failed as well. The seals are all cracked and there's condensation building up in a number of them. So, and then right now there's an existing roof structure over the door, which we are removing because there's a set of doors there. It was kind of like a balcony apparently at one time. So we're taking all that down and we're replacing the whole center stretch of glass in that location and creating, an infill where that roof once was.
Is that center
It's
basically?
tucked back a little bit, yeah.
Step back.
Yeah, but it's not very deep, I don't think, right? I think it's only like,
But it's not flush out?
it's 3 feet back, so it's a little bit. So it'll cast nice depth to the facade there.
And the materials will return?
Correct, they return in, yes. Yeah.
Okay. On the court side, if we can look at the court view,
Yeah, go
are
up.
those windows exist on the first floor?
Yes, they are all existing, obviously randomly placed. We are only, on the front side, you can see we're wrapping the Nichiha panels around the corner, but once we get 16 feet in or so, we are just going to retreat the existing stucco that's there and just paint it with the pattern as we've depicted here and trying to keep the colors in tone with what we're doing.
Okay, so
with
that's
the front
just a
facade.
painted wall.
Correct, yeah, that's just a paint application, yeah. So.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, do we have any questions? Any comments?
I think it's great to see this investment in downtown. I think it's a great building, and I'm happy to see what you guys have done with it, so congrats on that.
It is good.
It's good for the city.
Yeah, it is good for the city. Brian, the windows on the, I think they were black, the window frames on the Murray Building will be
Black, right?
black?
Are we doing black or did we change that?
But they can be black.
Yeah, actually, we were showing the anodized aluminum there. We were showing the anodized aluminum in the rendering, yeah. So they have clear anodized aluminum.
So they'll be in.
Sort of flip-flop back and forth between keeping them black and keeping everything clear anodized.
Yeah. And actually, the clear anodized was an attempt to play on the Davidow, just like sort of
Yeah.
that subtle detail, because that's all clear anodized over there. So we're trying to just like bring at least that over, so.
Okay.
The other thing, too, is I should mention, this facade in particular, the parapet that we're doing on the corner, where we're taking the opportunity to do some signage where it says Friendship House, that's all Nichiha as well. And if you kind of look at that and look at the previous elevation, there's an attempt to bring the two together. So, it's sort of this this dialogue between the two buildings. Yet at the same time, they can kind of stand alone, too. You kind of remember what the Davidow building was versus what the Murray building being now have a new contemporary face, so.
Now, the Friendship House signage, is it here in this package, or is that?
It is in the package,
Can
yeah.
we-
I think
can
if
we
you go
look at
down
that?
further. Yeah, towards the last page.
I'm assuming nothing will light up, is that true?
I don't think we're not lighting any of that. Yeah, we're not doing any type of backlit or halo lit signage, no.
Okay.
There is one light over the main sign, though. It's just a simple bar light that we were going to illuminate.
Over the sign,
down.
but the letters won't light?
The letters don't light up, no.
Yeah,
No.
okay. And that's a clear anodized, or is it?
They're clear anodized aluminum letters, yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, at different locations, where it says Davidow Building, Alex wanted to keep that and sort of restore that as being, you know, over the entrance. Those are exactly what's there right now in this image here. And then where Friendship House needs to address their services, it's all basically standoff letters, so.
Comments?
Are you going to maintain the angled entrance on the corner?
We're maintaining that, yes, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. As a matter of fact, the number of the storefronts angled, they sort of, you know, walk in and out a little bit. We're maintaining all of that as it currently is, so that we kind of just replace the storefront in kind.
The only storefront that is not being replaced in kind is the jewelry store.
Okay.
Because it has that boxed condition.
Well, that's a funky
taking
thing
that
on
out,
its own.
yeah.
Are you just keeping that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was chic in its day.
Yeah. No, that's all going too. Yeah. You don't like the gold?
Okay. More comments? We good?
It's good, nice project.
Okay, yeah, very nice project. Entertain a motion?
I move that we accept this as presented.
Is
I'll
there a
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Go to town, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Still at it.
It's gonna be a big improvement.
God, yeah. What's it got? Absolutely.
Is 514, 516, and 580 Appleton Avenue.
Okay.
So I'm Ken Ruby from Heller Combined Architects. Good
Hello,
evening.
Ken, how are you?
I'm well, and let me introduce Frank Dubas, the owner of the three
I've
buildings.
met Mr. Dukes. Okay.
So, thank you, and let me give you a quick, I'll give you an overview, answer whatever questions that you may have. You have the drawing package, and essentially the gist of it is this. We're not really changing the way that any of the buildings will look other than for the east elevation as explained in the package. The east elevation is facing the plaza, and as you can recall, going down Lackawanna Avenue, the building across from that, which is 522, which is on the plaza, in 2010, which Hamler Combined Architects did a project there for Mr. Rinaldi, we inserted windows and storefronts at the main level. This project does the same thing to the side elevation or east elevation of 518. Apartments are on the second and third floor of each building. It will become one continuous building by deed, again with 8 apartments on the second and third floor. The first floor and the lower level will become commercial space, much like the rest of the block. Those tenants are unknown yet, so there's limited work inside right now for those 2 levels. The storefronts will remain the same on Lackawanna Avenue. We will fix what's, deteriorated
There is
and
some
broken.
decay on this particular one. There's some
I'm sorry, Rick?
rot on the cornice there, the lower cornice, first floor cornice.
Yeah, that's falling apart, so we're redoing that. We're redoing it, probably painting it the same color. Like the colors, the pictures are important relative to colors because we're really not changing color. If we are going to change color, it will be historically appropriate color from the 1850s. There's no white windows, so I can assure you of that anywhere, right? In the rear, the windows are coming out because they're old, they're deteriorated, they're vinyl, they don't work. They will be new aluminum-clad wood windows in the back. There'll be new aluminum-clad wood windows on the east elevation. And the front prominent elevation of importance historically, 2 things. One, the 6 upper second and third floor windows in 514 and 516 are the original historic windows. We are keeping them. and we're repairing them. They're single pane glass, we're keeping the single pane glass, and we're putting a storm window in front of it of the same configuration as the single hung window, so that when you look at it from the street, you won't even know it's there. And we're doing that because we cannot insert insulated glass into the historic sash, because it just won't take it. So that is all in accordance with the Secretary of the Interior standards, which this is a historic tax. This is a tax credit project. Frank is pursuing historic tax credits. The project has been reviewed. We're in the Part 2 process now. We have conditional approval from the Park Service. One of them is to restore these windows. So they're reviewing another submittal now, some amendments. So it will receive that approval. We're working with a historic architect out of Bethlehem. It's Artifact, who I think you know them, Rich. Can't remember her. What's the principal's name from Artifact?
Oh,
You'll know her name. Yeah, when we think of her name, you'll recognize it.
Okay.
So, what else?
It's not Christine, is it?
It's Christine Usler.
yeah, Christina and Cassie.
And Cassie Robb. So, yeah, so that is really the gist of it. There is a stairwell.
So this, you are adding windows though where the mural is, or not? Am I understanding that right, or you're not?
Yeah, well, what'll happen at that elevation, which is we're punching windows through there and doors. So, Mr. Lennon will have, who, is an idol of mine and Frank's. That's how we met. When I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, who is this guy? And so, yeah, I think he might have a couple holes in him, so.
No, yeah, I'd like
So
to
do we have
I think Frank wants to address them.
do we have a depiction of that side, what that's going to look like, or not?
Say that again?
Do we have an image of what this wall will look like with windows in it?
Oh, yeah, it's in the package.
Okay.
Yeah, it's,
Let's see.
there it is there. There it is there. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's just, gotta clean it up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And Rich, what's up is in fact, the Park Service said, like, if you want to have, I don't know if you should, I'm so sorry. If you want to do something with the east elevation, it's fine. We did have balconies there. They said, no way, absolutely not, because, they didn't make sense. So they want 1-over-1 windows to essentially simulate what's on the front. So that's what we have.
Now, it appears that you have some kind of a hood or cornice on those windows?
Oh, yeah, it's just a flat plate. There's a detail of it on that drawing, which is up top. The elevation's up top. It's just a flat plate to simulate a lintel.
Just a flat plate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all it is. And that flat plate simulates the flat plate across the plaza on 522. So there's a little bit of...
So the image of Mr. Lennon is where, between the doors on that elevation?
Well, on this elevation where he is, yeah, he's probably, his nose is probably right at that center window in his face, yeah, somewhere around there.
So is he going to go away? Is that the...
I think Frank will address that.
A couple of things. First of all, it was mentioned painting from 1850. The buildings are only 1875 or so, so I don't want to go back that far if I don't have to. With regards to Mr. Lennon, 3 years ago I came before the HARB in order to put that mural there. And in my statement, I indicated that it would be temporary, pending, the construction. So, because that was my recollection, and I would think that that's reflected in the minutes with regards to the Lennon thing. I am willing, and I want to be civic-minded. If it's liked, I'd like to find some place where we could do it again, or something. And I think that was mentioned, in your comments, so I'm willing to work with the city and the like. I also want to just address the balconies, because although the Park Service says I cannot have balconies there is precedent for balconies on the other side of that plaza. So while I object to the Park Service, and I will comply with what the Park Service says, there is precedent there that has passed, in the past, but I am constrained by the financial burden of basically, trying to preserve these buildings as they were, as best as we could, by what the Park Service says. So with regards to the balconies themselves, if you just go to the other side, the buildings have, the facing buildings to that elevation have balconies.
Well, the window will be cheaper than a balcony.
I'm sorry?
The window will be cheaper than a balcony.
Well, that's for sure, but maybe not as appealing to a tenant. So, but thank you very, very much.
Yeah. I have a question on these new windows. It has a metal hood, a steel angle hood at the top.
Where now?
These windows, the
It's just
added,
a flat plate. It's
Just a flat plate.
It's like a quarter-inch plate, steel plate, or aluminum plate, so it doesn't
and
rust.
what is the sill?
Sill is
of-
a aluminum cladding over the window. No, actually, we have the detail in there. It's not stone. What's across the street or across the plaza, I don't think is stone, Rich. I think we have an aluminum.
What is on the front? Is the front stone? Does it have a stone sill?
No, the front are different. They're the window sills. They're clad currently in aluminum to protect them. You can't see them really well.
And I guess my other question is, in terms of height,
In terms of what?
height and placement, do these new windows on the side align with and correspond to the
They
windows
align
that
and
are on the face?
They align, the windows on the side align and correspond to the appropriate height in the bedrooms that they exist in. And there's a drop in the floors, so I don't know if that shows up here on that side elevation.
So they do not necessarily line up with the front?
Oh, no, they do not necessarily line up with the front, Rich.
Well, and they are fairly removed from it.
Yeah, I think they're fairly removed.
Yeah, it's
and-
not like they're
Yeah,
right, right
yeah,
there.
you would not, like, you can't stand there
Yeah,
and see, no.
and see that things
No, that's a
don't,
good question, but
things
no.
don't align.
No, and they have, they're at an appropriate height on that, on the floor relative to the interior space, which is the bedrooms. These are windows in bedrooms.
Yeah.
On
I
the
guess my
side.
other question on those windows is, I assume that's a thick wall, a thick masonry wall?
Yes.
And so where's the placement of the window in the wall?
It sets back a little bit.
It does, I mean, I would expect them to be,
Yeah, they're not going to be out flush. I
yeah,
mean,
that
that's
they would be
inappropriate.
recessed. I would look at the sill and make sure the sill projects in as
Oh,
an
you're absolutely right.
appropriate. You look across the face there and you see there is a pretty noticeable sill to all these windows.
Oh, yeah, no, you're
Right.
absolutely right, and then we will
Yeah.
do that, and that's a good comment.
Yeah.
And we have the detail there, I don't recall off the top of my head
Yeah.
what it is, but we will,
So
Make
in
sure that's
rebuilding,
appropriate.
I'm not particularly crazy about what was done with that cornice on that, over the sign frieze. And I think that maybe if you have to rebuild it, I would
on
consider.
518 on the corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I would,
it's a
I
mess.
mean, I'm not that little skinny panel and all. I mean, I think just maybe a shaped molding or something, an OG curved molding would be better. Something like up at the top. I think it could
Yeah,
be
you're right,
plainer. I don't think
Yeah.
that was done particularly well.
Oh, I don't have,
And since we have to rebuild it, I would say look at, the buildings,
Yeah,
look at the
give it a little-
adjacent buildings, and
yeah.
do it in a more simple manner.
Yeah, and give it a little bit more oomph, because you're
Yeah.
right, it's a little too thin.
It's too thin for those little panels,
Yeah, I agree with that.
and you got to redo it anyway because it's rotted,
We are redoing it, yes.
right?
Yeah, yeah, it's,
Right?
yeah,
You agree?
we agree.
I agree, okay, good. Yeah,
Yeah, we agree.
good.
I did have one question. Are there any lights proposed on the east facade on the plaza?
Not on the second and third floor level, like an up and down light, no. Like, what will happen is once the tenants come on board, then there'll be some sort of lighting, depending on what the business is, there'll be signs, we'll come back. Because part of what has to happen is, when the tenant fit out happens, we have to go in front of the Park Service again. So I'm sure we'll be here again, to show you what's up with the signage, because that's what you require.
Yeah.
I mean, the storefronts will stay the same, but it'll just be signage and, probably some lighting, yes.
Now, on the first floor, you are cutting doors, right?
On the east elevation, yes.
And what are those a single door with a side light, or what are you putting in
Single
there?
door with a side light, it's a Conair door, aluminum entrance door, just like, it's on the front, so it's sturdy and robust, and not wood, because, wood will,
Okay. Can I look at that elevation again, and just to see those doors?
yeah. Yeah, and that's what is across the plaza. I mean, across the
Yeah.
plaza are double doors, but these
Yeah.
are single.
Yeah. Bu- 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 bu.
Yeah, and the idea is that someday that may be,
There it is.
right now, give access and activate the plaza from inside depending on the distance, which is what was the intention across the plaza as well.
Well, I'm gonna suggest something here, and let's see what the people say. It seems to me that you have door, side light, and since they are centered around that grouping of 6 windows, should they not be side light, door, side light? Should they not be centered,
Yeah.
symmetrical? Should they be
We can
flipped?
do that.
You know what I mean?
So looking left to right, you want.
Now you have it in sequence, and I'm questioning, should it not be around a center line? I think it's more appropriate to the historic building that they would be.
Say how you want it again?
Well, the one that's towards the street is side light door.
Right.
So then the one in the court more towards the elevator there would be door, side light.
Okay, just flip it.
Right, so that so that the doors are symmetrical
The
around.
doors are.
The doors are symmetrical around the center
Understood,
window.
yeah. That's fine.
Is that okay?
That's not
You agree with that? Okay.
That's easy, and I like it. It's a better
Yeah.
look. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it wouldn't be inappropriate to have some kind of nice light fixture or something over each door, but that may come later. Yeah. right.
If you've seen my garden of cedar, you know I don't like symmetry.
Oh, you don't like symmetry. Well, but look at these buildings, they're all about symmetry. So there's a time and place for it,
That's perfectly fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Any more comments? A motion
I'll make a motion to approve this application
with what changes? The changes discussed.
to mirror the second door and side light as discussed.
And to rebuild the
Cornice.
cornice on the,
We are
Lavigne
rebuilding the corners, absolutely.
in a more appropriate manner.
That's fine.
Okay?
No problem.
Anything else?
Can I have a swift,
Yes.
nicely said motion for the minutes purpose?
I'll take another try at it.
Try.
Thanks.
I'll make a motion to approve the application with the following changes. The second door on the plaza to be mirrored or flipped, and the storefront cornice to be replaced with a stepped cornice.
Is that good? All in favor? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Gentlemen, good luck with this. Very nice. Great.
Well, thank you very much. I think Frank has a.
Frank, you want to say something?
I just have a question, not just for my own personal edification, maybe 2 questions. The lights that are on, like on Penn Avenue, I think it's the 300 block, are they okay? Or is that, I think somebody mentioned, and it just came up at this meeting, I don't know that they're in our plans.
You're
but
talking about the facade lights that are up, down?
the lights that sort of go up and down and, cast the soft light up and down?
You'll get different opinions. I actually like them. I think it makes the street look very festive, but.
I think it makes it look warmer. And
Yeah, I do too,
And like my wife walks down and she says it absolutely looks wonderful.
Yeah,
and she's-
coming in on Mulberry Street, it looks like, oh, there's where something's happening.
Yeah,
So,
she feels comfortable
Yeah.
with something like that.
Yeah.
The other question I have is 506 Lackawanna Avenue. Okay,
506.
that's the building that has been falling apart, and they just
Oh.
put some glass windows in there, and now it's listed
Well,
for sale.
okay, so that came before us. We did approve what was being done. The man got started with the work, and I don't know if he's had financial problems or, but I think the building is for sale again.
It is for sale. I think it was for a very, very high price. And I just like to say, I do maintain a residence here, and I really, really like the 500 block of Lackawanna Avenue. And to see that going on for so long, I know maybe we get approvals, but is there a process that then looks at what's being done to make sure that what they say is being done will be done? And as someone who wants to make a vibe, in the 500 block of Lackawanna Avenue and make an economic impact for the city, for the benefit, I would just like to see that situation is taken care of.
Well, whoever buys the property will have to comply with what we had
Yep.
reviewed and approved. I mean, they won't be able to come in and do something different.
Right.
The building sat there with no windows in it for a long time. I mean, it was just open to the wind.
I know, I was-
We also did actually kind of fought to save it, thinking that it would be a worse situation if that building was demolished, given the party wall nature and where
Oh,
it stands.
no,
That even though it was only a shell, it was worth saving the shell.
Yeah.
There are drawings that were approved by us, so whoever buys the building will have to comply with the HARB.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine anybody's going to buy the building just to keep it as it is.
Well,
So,
just as a person who has a very significant interest there,
Absolutely.
I have my concerns.
oh, yeah,
And I would like to see it be successful.
oh, yeah,
Okay, thank you.
we agree.
And
Thank
Mr.
you.
Dubas, for whatever it's worth, you would qualify to sit on the board if you were interested. You can submit
That's
your
true.
resume to the
That's true.
city.
If you are interested, we have a shortage on this board, and and being a property owner in the historic district, you would qualify. So if you are interested, you may express that interest to the mayor, and, yeah,
You took me by surprise.
okay.
I have to talk to my wife. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you for your audience.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay. Topics of discussion, City of Scranton Solicitor, escrow memo. What is this about here, Rob?
That's a letter from Attorney Escrow.
Yeah.
She's asking for all of the committees and boards under the city's purview to appoint a right-to-know officer that would be listed on the board's website.
Okay.
And perhaps since all the members aren't here tonight, it's just something to consider for a future vote at a meeting with all of the members here, once they have a chance to consider it.
Okay.
Is that officer a member of the board?
Yes. And
The city has a right-to-know officer for the city itself, and her name is Allison Fitch, and she is more than open to helping guide the appointed right-to-know officer on the appropriate policies and how to go about answering right-to-know requests. It's just each board needs to have one person be appointed, that go-to person for when people inquire about certain things. We do. So,
Very good.
Okay. And we don't have to do that tonight.
no.
Okay.
And I think there was also a
Great.
reminder for everyone on the board to submit their statement of financial interests as well, if you haven't yet.
Well, that's what you gave us last week, okay?
Yes,
I
sir.
looked at that, and I don't think it applies to us. We are only advisory, and if you read, those who do not have to fill this out, I thought, it looked to me like we didn't have to fill that out.
well, it's in accordance to the Pennsylvania state.
Yes.
And they do require anybody who serves on a board, commission, or authority to fill one out. It is your statement of interest, and
you
I
have
believe
that?
that is public knowledge.
I did read it carefully, and as a volunteer recommending body, we have to sign it, but you don't have to have the full disclosure that would otherwise be required if you were an elected official.
Sure enough.
So there
Okay.
are some elements that you have to provide, but not the
Okay,
full.
because I looked at that and I thought, well, this doesn't really, doesn't really apply to us. But, okay. Miscellaneous, we have Scranton Times invoice.
Is there just one? Yes. I make a motion to pay the Scranton Times invoice for 129.28.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then, boy, Dan is always asking us for money here. So we have a motion to pay our attorney here.
I reviewed Attorney Penetar's invoice, and I find it acceptable. I make a motion to approve the invoice.
A second on that?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, our next meeting is March 9th. Is there anything else for the order? I would consider a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Yeah.